if we're meeting for the first time, I'm Melanie from Female Fitness Systems, and today I'm going to help you figure out how many calories you need. We'll be talking about why you might not want to rely on the formulas you're seeing on the internet or apps like MyFitnessPal to tell you how many calories you need. And instead, I'm going to give you a starting point for calories that has got great results for the majority of women I work with. I'm sure you're going to find this really helpful, so let's get into it. So one of the challenges of formulas or using an app like MyFitnessPal is so many factors impact on how many calories you need. For example, if you're somebody who has more muscle, or you train really hard 4 to 5 times a week, or you've got an active job, you're gonna need more calories than somebody who's less active, has a desk job, and maybe doesn't train weights and only does cardio for exercise. And then your genetics, your age, your health all impact on how many calories you need. It also depends on whether you have a history of dieting, so whether you've lost and regained the same weight over and over again, and then there are lifestyle factors that can impact on it. For example, your stress levels, your sleep quality, and even the type of food you eat can impact on how many calories you need. So for the purpose of this video, I'm assuming that you're somebody who wants to lose weight. So we're going to be talking about the amount of calories you would need to lose weight in a healthy way. And I know it sounds complicated, but I promise I'm going to make this easy for you. So over the years, I worked with so many women, and I used to use formulas when I started, but I realized that often the formulas and the apps like MyFitnessPal would undershoot the amount of calories that somebody needed. And so I came up with an easier way, basically just through observation, through working with so many women, to figure out how many calories that most women would need. What I had found is that generally most women do really well when we set their calories between 1,500 and 1,700 calories. Now there's a few things that impact, like those factors we just talked about, on whether I set somebody at the lower end or the higher end of calories, but generally this range works really well for most women. And the sweet spot where I usually set calories if we are using an app like MyFitnessPal is 1,600 calories. That's usually my starting point. Now in upcoming videos, I'm going to be talking about what to do if you're somebody who needs more calories than 1,600, because there are some women who need significantly more calories than 1,600, and there are some women who need a little bit less. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you hit the subscribe button to my channel and the little bell beside it so that you get notified when I post new videos. But for the purpose of this video, I want you to understand why 1,600 calories is such a sweet spot for most women. So 1,600 calories is actually more than would be recommended by a lot of programs, and even by MyFitnessPal sometimes when you chuck all your data into it and it generates a recommendation for you. So why do I go with 1,600 calories? Why do I like it so much? Wouldn't it be better to take a more aggressive approach and eat like 1,200 calories? Wouldn't your weight loss be faster? Yeah, it probably would, but there are some big problems with an aggressive approach to weight loss. And what we're going to talk about is something called metabolic adaptation. So this is what happens when you try to lose weight, and it happens regardless of what approach you take. So this happens because the reality is your body doesn't like to lose weight. It doesn't like being in a calorie deficit. So it fights against you with these metabolic adaptations. So things start to happen in your body that work against weight loss. For example, you burn less calories. So if you're at the gym working out with your friend who's not on a diet, you might actually be burning less calories than her because these metabolic adaptations are kicking in. And then other things like your hunger increases and your cues for food increase. So you view food as much more appealing and you start to have cravings. Those are all signs that these adaptations are happening. And research also shows that you might actually move less even though you don't notice it. So there's something called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and that just means like the calories that you burn from just moving around, maybe doing your dishes and that kind of thing. Well, the studies have found that when you're on an extreme diet, that you actually stop doing so much of these things, you even stop fidgeting, and that means that you burn less calories as well. And then finally, there's our good old friend cortisol. So when you're on a diet, cortisol increases. And that makes it harder to burn fat, but it also makes it harder to build muscle and to retain muscle. And we want to retain as much muscle as possible when we're trying to lose weight, because that's going to help keep our metabolism healthier. So all of these things, all of these metabolic adaptations are working against you. In an ideal world, we would prevent them from happening. It might not be possible to completely prevent them, but we can slow down when they happen and how hard they kick in. So research shows that the more aggressive your approach to weight loss, the stronger these adaptations are. In this study, for example, they found it is likely that the magnitude of these adaptations are proportional to the size of the energy deficit. So it is recommended to utilize the smallest possible deficit that yields appreciable weight loss. And all that means is that it's better to eat a little bit more. It's better to have less of an energy deficit, less of a calorie deficit when you're trying to lose weight. This study actually goes on to say that even though your weight loss might be slower when you have this more moderate approach, that they found that your chances of success of losing weight and keeping it off are increased in the long run. And over the years, that's definitely been my experience with my clients. Take Charlotte, for example. So when Charlotte came to me, she was too busy with work to exercise regularly. And so the only change we made was to get her tracking calories and eating as close to possible to 1,600 calories every day. After 11 weeks, she had lost 7 kilos. But the most important thing was that she reported back that the changes she had made weren't that hard, and she felt more balanced and confident that she could maintain them in the long run. I've worked with so many women like Charlotte who are always surprised by how good they feel when they're eating 1,600 calories. They're able to lose weight, but they often report back that for the first time they feel that they're more in control of their eating. They don't have cravings and they're not getting hungry. And those are really important things that I look for as markers of success as to whether an approach is working for a client or not. And then the other thing that you have to factor in is that whatever you're doing, you have to be able to maintain it in the long run. Because at some point, you're going to want to stop dieting, but reality is if you go from eating 1,200 calories a day for 8 weeks to all of a sudden eating 1,800 calories a day, you're going to gain back all of your weight. And that's why the majority of people gain back the weight they lose. And the research actually supports that. And so these more moderate approaches mean that it's more likely that you're going to be able to maintain it for the long run, but it also means it's easier for us to step you out of that diet if you want to increase your calories a bit after you reach your goal weight. So I know that calorie counting can be overwhelming for so many women, and a lot of you just don't want to do it. But if you want to lose weight and you want to be successful in the long run and keep it off, then calorie counting gives you consistency and accountability, both of which are missing if you just try to freestyle things. But if you absolutely don't want to count calories, I wanted to let you know that I have a meal plan that takes care of everything for you. So whether you're somebody who doesn't want to count or whether you're somebody who wants to count, I've included a guide and a video mini class that walks you through how to use it based on your preferences. So I'm going to link to that meal plan in the description of this video. And if you want a more balanced approach, if you want some help with all of this, you definitely should go check it out. And remember, hit that subscribe button to my channel if you want to be notified when I do upcoming videos. I am going to be doing a video on adjusting your calories up or down if you're somebody who needs a little more or a little less. But I've also got some cool videos planned with more advanced strategies for calorie counting and nutrition. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will get back to you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you again next time.